you still supposed to be screen sharing?
Yeah,
well,
well,
look at that. That is fucking professional and shit. I've not even seen that bit at the end with the logo and the title, and that's the perfect. It saves me having to go. Saves me having to go onto YouTube to go onto the channel to find out what number of the show we're on. That's fucking awesome. I like that.
There you go. You can do the intro then.
Fuck, 148. Don't do that to me. We are on episode 148. It's heating up and it's a wrap. How you doing, Mark? You drinking now? Can I old Stella?
I am, mate. I am sweating my tits off, as you could probably see.
Oh, fucking hell. One of them days, isn't it?
I'm not one of those that's going to sit there and moan.
Mate, check my t-shirt. I am in a tropical island somewhere.
Brazil, by the looks of it.
Rio. I think Crystal gave it away, didn't he? That way.
Who? What?
Crystal.
Who's Crystal?
Cristo. It's like the statue of Jesus they've got in Rio. You fucking sausage. Yeah, so a good day. It's been fucking, well, weather been here is a bit up and down. We have like 4 seasons in a day normally. So as per, this morning it was cloudy, overcast. Then at about 9 in the morning, the sun just beamed out. We had 26 degrees right up until 3:30ish. Then it just started pissing it down. Yeah, now it's all looking a bit grey, but the shed's still like a sauna. So I'm out here in my Rio top drinking some how do you pronounce that?
Old Mount cider.
Old Mount, yeah. I didn't know whether it would be Old Moat or Old Mount or Old what.
Talk.
Hello.
Yeah, Old Moat would be M-O-A-T, wouldn't it?
Maybe. Yeah, that stuff's nice. Kiwi and lime.
I don't like kiwi. I'm a bit funny with kiwi.
To be honest, they always say kiwi. It never tastes like it. This one actually does. It's almost like you can... Can
you almost get the fur on your lips?
Do you eat it with the skin on?
No, fuck, I don't eat kiwi. It's minging.
If you were to eat kiwi, would you eat it with the skin on?
No.
I know people that do, and they don't even take the skin off. Like, they don't even take the furs off the skin. They just eat it. Fuck me, that must be like licking a cat. Do you know what I mean? What the fuck? Why would you do that?
I've got no idea.
So anyway, welcome to Kiwi Talk UK.
Let's see if we're going to be as random as last week, but I think we've actually got some content.
We have got content. I'm fucking. We had I posted a message in our group chat yesterday. Content alert, followed by the content. I genuinely did that because it's not very often that we come across such a gold mine. But for first, what you vaping on, Mark?
Me. Oh, faithful. You know that this crack. I need to get this sorted. Lord.
Why don't you just get some resin?
I could, but then part of me just thinks, fuck it, and get a whole new block made.
Do you like it enough to have that done?
Yeah, I like the mod. Don't get me wrong, I like the mod.
I don't know. It's just a lot of fucking hassle. You have to take all the board out.
To be fair, the board will fall out.
Wow. Looks like it's all about to fall out at the minute.
Right, so at the bottom we've got a few hex there. One at the top. I'm pretty sure it's all just going to slide into place, isn't it?
Well, how's the front plate mounted? There's no screws there, is there?
I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out from the back.
There's only one way to find out, Mark. Smash it with a hammer. Do it Stu and Dale do every time something annoys them.
No. So yeah, vaping.
What the fuck was that? No. It sounded like that bird off Family Guy. No, I clean. No, I stay here.
No. 12 milligram mint from V4, Nautilus 2, and the Asmodus Ultra. In the other hand,
got that back out.
Engraved Bunto with the Haku. Bless you.
Fill up your bottle.
I did that.
Oh, don't. I'm still waiting on a load of bottles that someone was supposed to send me from when we were in Leeds. I don't know who that was. Someone who thought it'd be a bright idea to bring along a load of fucking 500ml bottles or whatever they are. I'd say you can take them home. Even though I'm not allowed to fly with anything above 100ml. That was very convenient or preemptive.
I'll sort it. I'll sort it this week. I will sort it this week.
You notice how I didn't rush to get you your fucking prototype out to try?
You did.
Fuck off. I sent it out the next day.
That's what I said. You did rush.
Oh. I'm sorry. My bad.
Facetious in any way. It was all...
Yeah, I know. You've got a memory like a fucking giraffe. Which, actually, you look a bit like. So, yeah, you must have inherited it. I was down the pub the other day and there was a woman there that was 6'3".
Wow.
I felt intimidated.
You felt intimidated?
Yeah.
I'm also on a nameless mod.
Oh, nameless.
Running.
Can you not hold it up for that long? Just like, yeah, that's all right. That's fine. Yeah, that's cool. But you can spoil any illusions.
24ml goon. And on that, I am vaping on IVC's bubble ice cream.
Oh, segue. I am also.
And we didn't plan that.
No, we genuinely didn't. That stuff was fucking amazing. I actually found like 7 bottles the other day. Steve Turn sent me a load and they came and I didn't have time to nick shot them. So I was just going to work on the others. And then I stopped really using anything other than the billet box. So I never got around to fucking using them. But then I fell back in love with it. And now I've got a shitload of bottles to sort me out. There's at least 6 in there. So, yeah, I got out the last bottle that I had and I'd saved it from release day. This is a release day bottle. So it came out the day the fucking juice did. And it's been steeping half full ever since. And it tastes incredible.
You know what? Every time I use this mod, I like it even more.
Good.
And I'm not just saying that to suck your ass, but
good. There are a few things I need to change on it, but
I wasn't going to mention them.
Shut up, Carl. So yeah, I'm vaping on Whois and someone else. Whois by Vapor Clouds with some Imperial Vape Co. Bubble Ice Cream. Probably my favourite bubblegum juice.
It's up there.
Oh, it's got to be my favourite. It's the only one that I've got that doesn't have that. You know those 2p, those 2p bubble gums. They went up to 5p.
The American bubble gum.
Yeah.
They cover up the. That was probably the best bubble gum.
Is that made by who I think it's made by? Vampire Vape.
No, it's actually made by a company called Mordant.
Oh, Mullenberry. Oh, I've not tried that. That's a concentrate, though.
It's very, very, very good. Good evening, Kev. It's a very good.
See, Mullenberry do a couple of really good concentrates. They did a amazing blackberry, which actually tasted like blackberry.
Their pink lemonades.
I've not tried that. I've only tried a lot of their base flavors. You know, like
also I got
your fruits.
Blueberry.
Is amazing. Their pineapple is incredible as well. It actually genuinely tastes like you're sucking a pineapple.
And
is that good?
It's good. I was trying to get a decent cola, and as you know, we have our own flavors made rather than rely on Capella or Flavor Art. We have our own flavors made. And I was, as you know, there's a cocktail range that we're working on at the moment, and I've got the new 3 just about to.
Evening, Mark Ski.
Good evening, sir.
Marcus, Mark.
I was looking for a fizzy. I wanted a really fizzy cola to base something on. I was working on sort of a whiskey cola float kind of thing.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say Long Island iced tea.
You see, Long Island iced tea. That is beautiful, right?
Oh.
But it is so complex.
Oh yeah, even just making the drink is complex.
So
let alone
we did do one,
and I didn't get a try.
It went in the bin.
Oh shit!
I made four changes to it and then gave up. It was just to get all those flavors rolling properly. It was just.
Oh, it would have been. Oh, it was so good if you'd got one. Talking of flavors, I fucking found my new.
Sorry, whiskey cum float sounds mega.
You'll find out in November, son. So yeah, we went out the other day, took the kids to the farm and that, and then we went shopping, and they only had really a couple of options. They had Morrison's, which we went to. They had a little Asda over the other side of the fucking town, and then they had Iceland and Farm Food. So I've never really gone into either of them since I was about 10. So we went into Iceland, and they had these well, for one, they had bubblegum ice creams, and they were the best bubblegum ice creams I've ever had. But also, they had a load of, what do you used to call them when you were younger? I'll ask you before I tell you what they are. Those long plastic frozen kids ice poles, ice pops. I knew we were going to disagree. So yeah, they had these ice pops in there, big old ones, and bought them, took them home, didn't think anything of it. So we went out the next day, gave the boy a one of them, and he had about 2 licks. Was like, I don't want it anymore. I said, you what? He goes, no, I don't like it, Daddy. I'm like, give it here. So I sucked it, thinking it was going to be orange. It was fucking pear drops, but like the actual pear drops you got as a kid. Like, tasted just like them. And then I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So I got home and I went in the freezer, and so far I've tried cola cubes, taste just like them, pear drops, taste just like them, fruit salad, taste just like them, and I can't remember what the other one was. But they are fucking awesome, and I think you should do a range of old school, way by the gram sweeties.
Don't give so much away, Chris, for God's sake.
Are you planning it?
You know we were. I'll give you the list.
No, you gave me a list of the cocktails. I don't think you gave me a list of those.
Joel, it's the Molinberry Fizzy Cola is the one.
Or Molinberry.
Molinberry.
Or as normal people pronounce it. So yeah, you doing one. I honestly genuinely don't think you did. I genuinely don't think you did send me a list. I've got snacks, by the way. Did you bring snacks?
I didn't bring snacks. I've not eaten yet today either.
No, I've not had anything for hours. So I thought I'd some Jaffa cakes.
Now, is that a cake or a biscuit?
It's a cake. It says self-explanatory. It's soft unless you let it go off and leave it open in the cupboard for about 3 days.
Whereas a biscuit,
it's hard.
There we go. I'm trying to look for my recipe list.
You'd had 3.33 milliliters, I think, Markski.
What's that?
No, you wouldn't. You'd have 2.5.
What's that?
How much 72 milligram Nick do I add to 50 ml of thick oil? 2.5. Quick maths.
Yeah, no, I've completely lost my list.
How do you eat a Jaffa cake?
Whole. Full moon.
See, I always do the half moon. Yeah, tonight we're going to talk about some controversy. You familiar with Jay Hayes?
Huh?
You familiar with Jay Hayes?
I am, yes. Yes, there's been a bit of fuckery in the past with him. I actually rewatched the one that I had issue with before, and I went back and watched it, and I don't get the problem. But hey.
So it's a lot better now that you're on the other side of the story.
Yeah.
Like, you can see it more from another perspective.
Yeah.
Mm.
Before we do the fuckery, can I please just tip my hat?
Evolution Vaping?
Yes.
Oh my god, that was...
Let me just...
we can't give them credit because someone hacked their screen.
Hacked their screen, okay.
Someone hacked their screen.
Why will my... I'm double-clicking like fuck and nothing's happening.
I'll keep talking so people don't have to watch me eating Jaffa cakes.
That's all right. Fuck a dub. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure how big I'm going to be able to get this. So, allegedly, we have no reason to disbelieve this in any way, shape, or form. But allegedly at Expo at the weekend, somebody hacked Evolution Vaping. They've got like a digital board that goes around the top of. Can you see me, or have I disappeared?
I can still see you. Yeah.
They've got a board around the top of their stand at Expo, and it's a digital board, and they can put digital graphics and their logo and everything else across it. Now it turns out some evil, nasty, pedantic fucker went and hacked. I'm going to turn the volume down because you don't need to hear the volume. So there's a scan around. Come on, let's move along. So a quick pan round. You can see ICOS across the other side. Still not sure what they were doing there, but
moonwalk.
So backing up a little bit.
Whoever's got the cameras doing a moonwalk.
They are doing a moonwalk. And a quick look over to Evolution Vaping's screen. And you can see that someone hacked their screen to say fuck ICOS across it. How incredible is that?
I told you this last week. My local like convenience shop, I think it's run by Premier. It's like a little cost cutter or something like that on the corner. I went in there the other day to get a drink, and they had a fucking ICOS sitting on the shelf. And I said, "Where'd you get that?" "Oh, our supplier's offering them to us." I said, "What do you mean?" "Oh, like where we're a franchise, the supplier we get all the stuff from is offering them to us. This one was a freebie to see whether we had any interest in it. They gave us a load of the refill cartridges." I said, "You mean cigarettes without the filter on the end?" "No, I don't think so." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I told him I didn't think we'd be able to sell them, but when it was free, I couldn't say no." And I was like, "Yeah, say no next time."
It was a Premier.
Yeah, it was a Premier. So I don't know whether the Premier suppliers have got them, or whether ICOS are offering them directly. But they're a small independent shop. They're going to cost people thousands.
Chris, I don't mean to worry you at all. Hang on. If you look behind you, you seem to have smoke coming from your wiring above your head. Honest to God, look behind you.
It's an incense stick.
Fuck's sake. I literally thought your shed were going to burst into flames.
No. I like incense. Do you not like incense?
I couldn't eat a whole one.
They don't taste very nice.
No, Joel, there is some fizz to it. It's definitely worth giving a try. I wouldn't use the cola as a standalone cola. It definitely needs layering. You know, whether you want to layer it with cherry or whatever, definitely give it a try. It's a good cola in my opinion. It's one of the better colas. Yeah, what worries me, Chris, is these independent shops are picking up these heat not burn. They're not cheap.
100 quid they wanted, 98 quid or something.
So you're going to go in, you're going to top up your electricity, your gas, you know, pick up your bread, your milk, and stock up on 100 quid at ICOS.
Yeah, I'm just here for. I'm just here for a loaf of bread. But you want to give up smoking, right? Well, buy it. ICOS. It's going to be their advert. Oh, his granddad got his pipe and cocoa ready.
Now, is he talking to us or is he on
Doesn't realise he's muted. Oh, talking to being muted. Earlier, Mark set up the Hangouts. We were discussing a few bits. Then I had to go and do something. So he disappeared away from his computer. I come back and was talking and hoping that someone could hear me, and they couldn't. So I left again. I then come back about 40 minutes later, and Mark was clickety-click typing away. And I was going, Brian Badondi. And he's like freaking out. He's like, what's going on? I'm not pressing nothing. Nothing's open. And just to let you know, Mark, I have the whole thing screen captured. I've got the whole encounter of you panicking because your computer's shouting Brian Badondi at you. Chandler still doesn't know he's muted.
Yeah, I think he's on the phone.
He's probably trying to get an upgrade.
He's on the phone.
Hello, sorry, Vodafone cannot help tonight. So yeah, anyway, Jay Hayes.
Yeah,
I don't know him.
Fill us in.
I don't know him. I know he reviewed the Pandora, and he said that he bought it to review. So fair play. I like a reviewer that's willing to pay for their own shit. His review is pretty good. It was pretty nice. No problem. I responded to any concerns he had. He thanked me for responding. He changed his opinion based on upgrades that I'd done to it. And it was a nice enough bloke. Well, night before, a couple of nights ago, he posted a 37-minute video about an issue of a company that he's had. Interesting, very interesting. So he had been ordering for about 4 years from this company. It spent in excess of $20,000. The company was Kidney Puncher, the wire supplier. They actually do a lot of white label stuff. So you can pay them, they'll put your logo on the wire.
It literally costs you an extra 10 cents a roll to have your own. You see, I go on, carry on, and I'll fill you in. Right.
So anyway, he's been buying it for 4 years, spent $20,000, whatever, blah, 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 blah. He had someone, apparently, I don't know how true any of this is. This is just what he's saying. He said that he had a customer come in saying that they were feeling sick and they didn't know why. He had been using Camphor to make builds for them and he didn't understand what was going on. Turns out they had a nickel allergy. And he said, well, I've been using Camphor. Here, I'll show you. Camphor is magnetic. Nichrome isn't. And nichrome's got nickel in it. Nickel isn't. And nickel's got nickel in it. So put a magnet to it and it wasn't magnetic. So whatever it was supposed to be, well, it's supposed to be Camphor, which should have been magnetic. Whatever it was, wasn't. So it was either stainless steel, nichrome of some description, or
nickel.
Or nickel. So he checked and checked and checked and checked, back box after box, batch after batch. An order back in January, an order in April, and it turned out that loads of them were not what they were supposed to be. Loads of them weren't Camphor, and they were all labeled as Camphor, but there was an unknown metal wrapped around the spool. So at first I thought, you're so dramatic. Do you know what I mean? You calm down, mate. It's wire.
But when you watch this video, he does get
very, very intimately involved with it. He's very.
I've not seen the video yet.
He's very over the top, a bit like, I am fucking so mad. But thinking about it overnight, I am actually pretty shocked because I think if they're sending it to even 10 countries and people are selling it as their own product and then they are selling it under the pretext that it's Camphor, you have an allergy to nickel, not just a little one, a proper, serious, blow your head off allergy, and you vape that, you're going to die. Can you imagine if you're allergic to nickel as some people are to bee stings, you know, where they just die? If you're that allergic to nickel, imagine how you would feel dying by inhaling something that you're that allergic to. That kind of blew my mind. It's a bit over the top, a bit far-fetched. There's not a lot of probability of it happening, but if it did, it'd be catastrophic. And it wouldn't just be Kidney Punch that would be in trouble. It'd be the people who'd sold it, the people that whose branded wire it was. So if it was you selling it, but it was my branded wire, I would be getting in shit. Kidney Punch would be getting shit. And then the people that they buy it from, which they say is the people that own the patent for Canthal. So actually, something else that really pissed me off about that video. He can't say huge. he says huge. Huge. He doesn't say huge. Anyway, so the fact of the matter is, realistically, there could be 5 people, the end user's supplier, the supplier of the wire, the maker of the wire, and not Donkey Puncher, Kidney Puncher.
I like Donkey Puncher.
And Kidney Puncher for supplying it. And who is at fault? That's the key issue here, because it's not the guy that...
You see, in law, it is the person that sold it. You know, at the end of the day, you know, if Jay...
Yeah, but if 4 people... Oh, what, the person who sold it to the end user?
They're the ones that are liable. You know, they've had that label manufactured. They're selling it as their own. Who's the wire made by? I can't remember.
I can't remember. It begins with F, I think.
Isn't it Sanzik or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, obviously there's been a fuck up somewhere along the line, whether it be the guys that manufacture it, the guys that spool it, the guys that re-spool it, the guys that stick stickers on. Somebody somewhere has made a ginormous fuck up. Yeah, if it was me, I'd be pissed. I would be pissed. But this guy actually went.
It's the equivalent. It's the equivalent of opening up a Mars bar and finding out there's a Snickers inside it full of peanuts.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Mars bars actually say do contain nuts. But
oh, do they? Oh, okay.
May contain nuts.
May contain nuts.
But if you're allergic to nuts that bad, even that may should be enough to put you off it.
Is it actually physically possible to be allergic to nickel that badly?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That using it as a vape wire would affect you?
Probably. I mean, I've had anaphylaxis 4 times now.
From what?
I don't know. I'm so allergic to something. They did scratch tests, right? I'm allergic to a load of different things. Some nuts, some other bits. I'm a bit allergic to. But
You're a bit allergic to?
Yeah. Like, you know, I can eat peanuts, but it'd give me a scratchy throat after 2 bags. I can eat almonds, but if I have more than sort of 2, it feels like I've swallowed an ashtray. Do you know what I mean? They get progressively worse. Brazil nuts are the worst. But so they did all these scratch tests. They cover all your arms in tiny little pinpricks with highly concentrated versions of whatever they're testing you for.
Nice.
So they're there with EpiPens ready to stab you in case you balloon.
So in other words, they effectively go, right, try all of these and see which one actually makes you die.
That's exactly what they were doing. So they cover my whole arms in these pinpricks, one after another. It looks like someone's speaking in Braille. And your whole arms are burning. They're pumping you full of antihistamines to try and get them to go down as soon as they're finished. We have to sit there for like 20 minutes and wait for them to react. It was fucking horrendous. But they tested me. One thing that they did say I was a bit allergic to, but I didn't realize how allergic I was lemongrass, because I've had a couple of episodes of hives, like massive, you know, like we get stung by a stinging nettle, massive lumps all over me. But they went down with a few antihistamines. But I'd had this anaphylaxis where I nearly died 4 times. Well, I say that 2 times I nearly died. The other 2 I was wised up to that was what was about to happen. But yeah, it was so bad. I was in hospital for 2 weeks the first time it happened because I called the doctors at 2 a.m. when it had happened. They said, we'll give you a call back in the next 2 hours. 10 minutes later, I called an ambulance. They arrived in 5 minutes and said another 10 minutes, I'll be dead.
Ooh, nice.
And the doctor called back at 6:30 in the morning.
And you were like, oh, okay. According to the ambulance guy, I'm dead.
Yeah. So yes, I was, but it's such a minor additive that it doesn't need to be listed in ingredients. So any allergens that they test for, it's not that much of it's such a minor additive. They don't need to put it on any ingredients at all. So I'm that allergic to it. It can kill me, but it's that untraceable that they don't make people list it as an ingredient. So they don't know what it is.
So they don't know what. So you don't actually know what it is. That's
no, but it's like Russian roulette. It's a minor additive in foreign food. So it's like Russian roulette. Every time I've had a lot of Chinese, I've had a lot of Indians, I've had a lot of, foreign food.
Okay, enough about your sex life. What about the food?
But do you know what I mean? I've had enough food in my time to have tried pretty much everything. But this one particular curry and this one other thing that I've tried have this ingredient in it, and I don't know what it is. So anywhere I go, anything I eat could potentially kill me. And I never carry my EpiPen, but it's because I use my noggin enough. I don't try that stranger foods unless I've got an EpiPen near me. So if I'm that allergic to something so small, someone must be as allergic to nickel, if not more. Especially if you inhale it. It's not like you're just touching it. Mm-hmm. Last snack, I promise.
Yeah. Kev just said, yeah, pure nickel shouldn't be used. You shouldn't use pure nickel wire anyway, because you get nickel cyanide off it.
That's right. If you
that's why you don't glow. That's why you don't glow the nickel before you. One of the reasons why you don't glow the nickel.
You run it in temperature. Never dry burn.
Yeah, but nickel Ni80 is nickel. Oh God, what is it?
Chromium.
Nickel chromium. There you go.
Now, Endless UK, is that Tom or is that?
I don't know.
Paul.
If it's Paul, we can send him the link.
Good evening, Endless Mods.
Who is hiding behind the Endless Mods name?
Tom can't hide behind anything short of a bus.
Says you.
Get the man a link. I know Tom's lost a lot of weight. Bless him. He looks good.
Evening, Paul.
Yeah. So yeah, send him the link, Mark. I said I'd send it about 9 anyway. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, Tom looks good. I just begrudge complimenting him. He's just an arsehole to me all the time.
Who is?
Tom.
Is he?
Yeah.
I love Tom.
He milks it. I only burnt him with a hot coil once, and he just bullies me for it every time I see him.
Brett's just coming in. I'm sure you did Brett as well.
I did Brett as well, yeah. But Tom's was so bad. I felt so guilty. But he was like, I don't know whether it's part of his diet. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But
see, so he's now effectively got like has he now got like clapped?
It was on the back of his hand.
Branded into it.
I felt so bad because I really do like Tom, but I was joking around and I went, "Is this hot?" and just touched it on him. But I don't know whether it's part of like slow reactions or it didn't feel the pain at the time or whatever. But he pushed against it to push it away, not realizing what it was. So it was stuck to his hand for about 4 seconds instead of this half a second I was gonna do it for.
Ow!
And I felt so guilty for it. I think that's why I'd be mean to him.
So Kidney Puncher, as I was saying, we kind of dodged a bullet with that because we were in the process of setting up the deal with Kidney Puncher for wire, and we were literally days away from putting the order in. And then that came out. Now, don't get me wrong, I fucking love the wire. The wire, if you've never used Kidney Puncher wire, for now, try Scott's coils.
Oh, they're brilliant. The Kidney Puncher is awesome wire. It's just I don't know what's going on. I don't know whose end the fault is. I don't know whether it was the manufacturer's labeled the spools wrong or the.
Either way, it's enough to make me back out on the deal.
It's a shame because I really like them.
Yeah, I do.
Did you send Paul a link?
No, I'm just holding off. I just going to do this next bit because I'm guessing that Chandler has come unprepared. He's sat there dancing. So I don't know. Link that you put up in our chat the other day, Chandler.
I did.
Yeah.
Which one? Hang on 2 seconds. Come here. I've got to put the passcode in the tablet for the little one.
It's 1921 when Daddy was born.
There you go.
So Chandler came across these guys. I'm not sure where did you come across these guys? Don't use any names because I've cut the name of the company.
Oh, have you got the pictures? All right, in that case, I'll put my phone down.
I've got screenshots ready for you.
You've got the screenshots. Awesome. Yeah, this is absolutely. I was just Googling. I now can't remember how I came across them. I think I was looking for an Atty, and this just came up, and I had a look, and it's. Oh, have you gone into the? You've gone into the website.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I remember what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Gone into. I'm just going to get a few more screenshots. Just talk away, because there's one thing.
I now can't remember the name of the web. I'm going to have to get it up to remember that.
Don't say I purposely.
Don't you purposely haven't? Yeah. Basically, this website, they sell e-liquid. They sell other stuff as well, but they sell clone e-liquid.
Not just clone.
Not just clones. No, I know. I was I was going to get to that bit. It was the clones bit that got me to start with. I'm like, clone e-liquid, because that's how I found it. I was searching for Flavor Chef. I was trying to find some of the Flavor Chef. I've had Flavor Chef before. I wanted to buy some at Expo and didn't manage to find it. So I thought I'll do some Google foo and buy it on the internet. And one of their flavors is one of the cloned flavors. So basically, they've taken well-known flavors and made their version of it. They're saying this isn't exactly the same. This is our version of it, but they have called it a clone. But what they do is they sell it in 120 mil. And what they do is we will sell you the flavor concentrate. We will then sell you 10 bottles of 10 mil Nick shots, and you just add it together. But if you press the yes button on combining before delivery, we'll put it all into a bottle for you and send it you out in one easy to consume bottle.
There we go. So the page here, we can literally specify a 20 milligram, 80, 20, 100 ml bottle of e-liquid.
Did you actually try clicking on the where it says combine my order after purchase? I actually tried that drop down box. There isn't a no option. There is yes option, and that's it.
I'm going to try now.
Yeah. On the one I tried, at any rate, I must admit I did it on my phone, not on the computer. But the drop down box, there wasn't a no option. You literally had to click yes.
We're obviously not sharing because I don't want to advertise.
Yeah, we really don't. And I found this a little bit on the dodgy side, to say the least, because as far as I was aware, I mean, every vape shop I've been in, I have been told we are not allowed to put the Nick shot into your. We are not allowed to put the Nick shot into your short fill. You have to do it.
That's correct.
So for a company to go, yeah, combine my order, we'll put it all together for you and send it off for you. You've basically got no idea where it's coming from.
So by selecting the combine after purchase drop-down option to yes, when you are the legal owner of the product, we will add the contents of your 10 times 10 ml bottle and the flavouring to an empty 100 ml bottle, attach the label and send this out to you for no charge for combining the individual components, as well as disposing
of the 10 ml bottles for you.
Disposing of or recycling the now empty 10 ml bottles.
Yeah. Now, I thought that was dodgy as hell. So what I did was, I know that
I ordered some.
No, I didn't order some, but I know that if you put, if I do a Google search for Vape-esque company's house, it will show me details of the company and who owns the company. If I do a Google search for justadnick.co.uk company's house, it will tell me who it is. If you go onto Google and do a Whois lookup, it will tell you who owns the website. So if I do vapeesque.co.uk, it will tell me who owns the vapeesque.co.uk URL. So I did that for it, and interestingly, it gave me a name, but it then said this individual is a non-trading individual and wants to keep his address a secret. Wants to keep his address private. So on the Whois, he's said, "Oh, I'm not trading," and yet it's a company website. So I did a bit more Googling, trying to find out who they were and where they were, and because there's no address on the website or anything like that. So I did a Google search for the number, things like that. I managed to track them down to an office in Glasgow. So found the Glasgow office and had a look around, and actually found out that this company in Glasgow, they provide virtual office services. So they are not even based in Glasgow. I have no idea where they're based. Basically, you call that number and some nice lady in this office in Glasgow will answer the phone saying, "I am from this company," when in actual fact she isn't.
Did you ring them?
I didn't ring them. That was the one thing I just, by this point, I thought I've wasted enough of my life trying to figure out who these guys are, and decided, and left it. But it might be interesting to, I've got a day off tomorrow, I might give them a ring and see if I can find out who owns the company.
What you need to do is record the phone call.
Oh, easily done.
Do a joy.
Yeah.
Is it Jai or is it Jay? Because Jai sounds terrible.
So yeah, it was just this company that it was the dodgiest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know what you guys think. Buying 100 ml short fills or pre-mixed.
Oh yeah, you're gonna need to meet me.
It's a bit naughty if you ask me.
Absolutely.
More than a bit. And the fact that they are not at all traceable as to where you're buying it from. I mean, all of the companies that I've bought off the internet, anything, they've either had a physical shop or I know where it's coming from. There's an address where I can go. That's where they live. So at the very least, I can turn up on the doorstep and go, "What the hell's this?"
I know a couple of companies that use virtual offices, and they're not dodgy at all. But it doesn't speak anything for these geezers.
No, I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking virtual offices, and like you say, what got me was the fact there is nothing on the website that says contact us. This is where our warehouse is. All the contact details. All the contact details were for this virtual office.
They've definitely not got a warehouse, have they? Some geezer's got a decent shed.
Yeah, and a bathtub, basically.
Don't look at me. Huh?
You mixing in that shed?
Yeah, man.
How far is Glasgow away from you, mate?
About 4 hours.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he'd knock on the door and find a virtual office, so he'd open it and be like a shoebox or something.
Yeah.
Good evening, Paul. Have you recovered?
No, it's caught up on me today, man. I'm fucking writ off, I am.
You know what? In all the years that I've been involved in the industry, this is the first expo I've not been to.
Why didn't you come down, Mark?
I've got so much on, mate. So much on. I really. I was going to come down on the Sunday, and then the weather was so nice that I spent it with the family instead.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a decent excuse. I live fucking miles away. You are just a lazy bastard.
That's not a decent excuse, Chris. You're a plane journey away.
I'm a plane journey away from Thailand. Doesn't mean I'm going to fuck off there next weekend.
We should.
I would love to. I was at the Barbers earlier and I was speaking to him and he's like, I'm going to go on holiday to Thailand. This is why, because you can get Chinese meal for 26 people.
Just to speak to him, then you ain't had that done today, have you?
You wouldn't think so. Have you had, when's the last time you went to a barber's, Paul?
When I had my beard, mate.
Really, what?
I paid once. I paid once to have my beard cut, and I was
it worth it?
I was too scared in case they fucked it up, so I just used to do it myself with wallpaper and scissors. That's a true story, that you can all laugh. I only ever paid to have my beard cut once. And even then, he cut a tiny bit off because I was like, mate, seriously, do not fuck this up because I'll fight you before I leave.
But yeah, he's on about going on holiday to Thailand. To get you can get a Thai meal for 26 people for about 10 quid. That was enough to sell it for me. I'm going. I'm fucking gone, mate. I'm
Chris, it'll probably kill you.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I'm talking about allergies. Yeah, fuck me. I'll just have noodles. 26 portions of noodles, please, love.
So how was it, Paul?
Obviously it's easy for us to say, oh, it was fucking brilliant, best expo yet. But you know what? It was it certainly weren't the maddest expo, but for me personally, it was the noisiest expo I've been to ever. It was the layout was properly well laid out. It was a full, big, massive, huge rectangle, very much up and down aisles, nice wide spaces between the aisles. We done fantastic business, which is always good. And there was lots of people I've seen on Facebook. To be fair, Saturday we was at the NEC. We got kicked out at 10:15 on Thursday night, still building the stand. We was back there at 8 o'clock on Friday morning, left. I can't even remember what we done Friday night, actually. But, I mean, I didn't go on Facebook much because I was just fucking knackered, like, properly tired. But the bit of Facebook I did see was I seen someone, in fact, I tell a lie, come up, I got a notification for some reason saying someone has left a review on the Vaper Expo. And it was a 1-star review because this penny stamp was too far back in the crowd at the stage, and they weren't throwing goods out far enough for him, so he got no free stuff. So he 1-star review.
Are people really crying about that?
Did you actually put that?
Mate, I'm not even joking. If you go onto the Vaper Expo's official Facebook group, there was a 1-star review because there was not the giveaways were too controlled, and they wasn't throwing stuff out to the people at the back of the crowd. And I was like, normally I would have tore him a new arsehole on a reply comment, and I just couldn't be bothered. I was too tired. But I was just like, you absolute fucking tramp, get a grip. I had a geezer come up to me and I put a status up about his 22nd birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And he literally come over and go, all right, mate, it's my 22nd birthday today. And I says, happy birthday, mate. And he says, I just wanted to say that the best mod I've ever had was an endless. I used to have an endless, and I says, it's your best mod, but you used to have it. What's all that about? He said, I've traded it by accident. I said, how the fuck did you trade the mod by accident, mate? How did you try? What it was, I traded it for such and such, and I wish I'd never had it done. I said, well, you're in luck because we've got some really good offers on. And he said, well, I just want to let you know it's my 22nd birthday today. And I said, happy fucking birthday. And he says, well, to be honest, I bought this ticket because I'm literally going to see how much free stuff I can get. So is there any chance of? And halfway through it, I says, none. Okay, thanks for your time. And he just fucked off. And I was just like, and he was walking off, and I says, you've honestly come here just to bag as much free shit as you can. And he says, yeah. And I was like, you fucking pikey, fuck off, man. What's the matter with people? I've seen lots of reviews about it there not being big numbers in there. I don't know what the official count is through the door. For me, it was certainly busier than October and May last year. And the thing is, because it was such a vast area, and genuinely, I was saying to someone, when we done our very first expo, which would have been 2 years ago now, but yes, today would have been the last day of the one 2 years ago, because it come up in my memories or something on Facebook this morning. When we had about 4 people at our stand, and I mean, we were busy. That first one we ever done, we were manically busy on a 3-meter stand. 4 people deep at our stand, and pretty much the person at the back of that 4, their arse was touching the stand opposite us, because the aisle was really, really narrow on the shell scheme section. Yeah. But to be fair, there was probably a good 10 foot, maybe 12 foot in the aisle, which just means even when you've got a flood of people walking through, and we were right by the door as well, actually they dissipated very quickly, and it was just nice. And even when it was manically busy on Saturday, it was manageable. We had people at the stand on Saturday, when we had a fair old footprint. We had about 15 meters of frontage, including the sides. We had a lot of frontage to the stand, but it was a really, really nice, relaxed, no shit. Obviously, the closer you get to the stage, the louder the free shit beat is dropping and all that sort of malarkey. But really, 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 really good weekend, man. I've come back absolutely fucking knackered, but properly enjoyed it. Bumped into the right people. Didn't particularly go around wondering a lot, because I just tried to stay and make sure we were doing our bit as best we could. The people that I wanted to speak to come and found me and spoke to me, and I went and found a few people and spoke to them. Nice. It was a good weekend, man. It was good. Really enjoyed it. More so than I thought I was going to, actually, as well. So that's always a bonus.
Do you think that Stuttgart impacted massively on the numbers?
If I'm being honest, I'd say no. You know what? The one thing that was different in there this year is there's a hell of a lot of smock alien style vapors, a lot of newbies, a lot of newcomers, a lot of people and again, a lot of people in the groups that were sort of very active in as far as sponsoring, etc. A lot of people had never been to the expo before. It was a new experience for them. Obviously, I bumped into the likes of Chris Bones and the old school people, and there weren't a lot of them there. But that says it's sort of 5 years since that vibe was at its peak, and there's new people coming through. I think the exciting thing for me about that is that they're potentially the tube vapors later on this year, early next year, and maybe we can see some sort of revival of the old school type scene. I'd imagine these new people are the sort of people that will go to a cloud comp at a vape meet and get excited.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in like a condescending way. No. Obviously, we still have vape meets and we still have cloud competitions, but actually, it's a bit much of a muchness. But these new people that were excited by the fact that they were in this massive event, and that the people were giving away free stuff, but also that they could go and meet people that they've only been speaking to on Facebook. And it just seemed like there was a sort of freshness about this event, which excites me for the next few events, because they're the people that will come into it, the next couple, really keen and drag other new people along, and pretty much where all of us guys were 4 and 5 years ago. So
I miss feeling like that.
Yeah.
There was a lot more hardware there. I felt there was a lot more. Yeah, there was still a lot of juice companies, but they didn't seem to be dominating like they did last time. It wasn't the. I didn't see Dinner Lady there. Dinner Lady
wasn't there. They were at Stuttgart.
They were at Stuttgart. I was like that.
And every single Asda in the UK.
Yeah. I was going to say, because every single expo I've been to, the first thing that you do is walk through the Dinner Lady stand. Because
But this year, we had the pleasure of lots and lots and lots and lots of fat gentlemen wearing very ill-fitting IVG t-shirts. They were clearly handed out during in the Jeremy Kyle holding pen before they're all allowed to enter the building.
All right. Yeah.
They were obviously dishing out loads of small and medium-sized IVG T-shirts, and lots of people that would be definitely classified as morbidly obese were wearing these T-shirts and looked quite shocking in them.
Brett's just said something in chat. It was chock-a-block with CBD.
That is where we was. We were literally right by the door. We were surrounded by CBD people, literally. But that, I mean, I put a status up again, just saying, you know what, it is what it is. The industry's trying to sell what it's trying to sell. CBD seems to be the thing. That says none of them seem particularly busy to me. I mean, we had a CBD stand next to us that was endorsed by Julian Marley, which is Bob Marley's son. We had CBD stand next to them, which was on a 63. There was 2, 3, 4 CBDs within 6 stands of us. None of them seemed to be massively active, actually. And then as you went into further up towards the red carpet and into the stage area, everyone was like, they think CBD is going to be the next big thing. And
it was like CBD was. It was you'd walk past a CBD stand every 2 minutes, wouldn't you? It literally was that CBD, that CBD.
Yeah. And actually, if you look back to May last year, or was it May, or was it the October before that? There was one of them before that was massive CBD. Then this thing come out that said it's going to be illegal, you're not allowed to do it, and the next one was rid of CBD. And it's as if this one they've gone actually back to CBD again. We need to get this out on the market. There was a hell of a lot of CBD actually.
I think the problem is it's become very much a new thing, and obviously with the is not new to us. I'm working quite closely with a company who manufacture a lot of high street CBD, not necessarily vape shop CBD, and we do a lot of bottling for them. Yeah. And to Joe Public, it's relatively new. It's a relatively new industry. You know, whether it's for pets, whether it's for humans. You know, high street stores. It's relatively new to the to our industry. It's a couple of years old now, so it's sort of old hat. But everyone seems to be jumping on it now to make a few quid. And I've seen the price of isolate drop, and I mean drop massively.
Yeah.
But did you know the price of vanilla has increased? It is increased significantly.
Vanilla? Oh shit, that's custard's fun.
80% of vanilla is made in Madagascar, and due to a lack of crops this year, they have had to hyperinflate the price to where vanilla per gram is now costs more than silver.
I thought you was going to say heroin.
Nah.
I was going to say, mate, heroin's cheap. You just got to get your sources right. Now, you know, I think with the CBD thing, I mean, there was a geezer there was selling the jellies for the dogs. He was actually selling jellies for dogs at a vape show, and I'm a bit like, firstly, if I want my dog to calm down, I'm just going to blow some smoke in his face off my skin. And secondly, why the fuck are you selling these at a vape show?
Yeah.
You know
well, the last two that I went to at NEC, they had fucking Crofts on next door. I think you went into the wrong room.
To be honest, mate, some of the birds walking around in Lycra look like they were from Crofts.
like toddlers in tiaras.
Just shocking. I mean,
that fucking whatever that Purina Dog Show or whatever it is, it's always on at the NEC once. I mean, they did have a furry convention actually last year, but usually in the hall next door, it's that fucking dog show. He literally could have tripled his sales just walking next door.
So no, feedback for Expo was good. I'm actually excited about October's one. Normally this week after Expo, I'm a bit like, you know what, fuck vaping, fuck Expos, fuck Endless, fuck shady vaping. I'm gonna start smoking again, and then to be fair, I've actually today me and Tash drove down to Oxford to do some shopping, and we're just chatting about what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, and we've looked at the floor stand, and I'm actually quite excited about October, to be fair, which is the first time ever that's happened within 24 hours of me coming out of that NEC, because normally, like I say, pretty much normally this week is where I sit and reminisce and understand why some people in America literally walk into their old junior school and shoot 32 people for no apparent reason, because that's normally where I am in my life at that time for them first few days later. But I think on reflection, the amount of new people that were there, that it was their virgin experience of a vaping expo, excites me for the fact that there's potentially some area for a little bit of a mini boom within the industry, and to get some new blood in there, really. And
not if they don't start chucking freebies out past the front row.
I mean, to be honest, we went up and done. Me and Tom went up and done the endless banter for live on Saturday, and it was fucking. I was shitting myself before, because I'm actually not very good at public speaking. If I'm around people that I know and I'm comfortable, then obviously I turn into the comedy genius that I am. But normally I struggle genuinely to get going, and I need someone to bounce off. And Tom was saying,
certainly bounce off, Tom.
Chris, you can't say that, mate. You're a babe. You've got to be a good 9 stone heavier than him, mate. He's lost some fucking timber. He's genuinely lost a lot of weight, Tom.
I know he has.
He's looking half healthy. Now, I mean, Tom was saying, look, we need a script. And I says, Tom, we can't go up there with a script because we'll end up dying on our arse, man. We've just got to go up there and see how the crowd react and whatever. And pretty much to win the mod, they had to eat a Spanish onion. And these onions that we bought were like fucking mangoes. So we got 3 people up at the stage, and they were eating these unpeeled Spanish onions on the stage. And it was just a proper... And we called, like, obviously one person was supposed to win. I ended up giving them all a mod because I felt sorry for them. Well, what the fuck is going on in people's lives, man?
Well, I saw the live you did, and it got right up to where they're about to eat the onions, and it cut out. I was fucking gutted.
Ooh.
I wanted to see someone cry, someone to like regret being born. So yeah, someone to be sick.
Yeah.
I think we've lost Paul.
Well, we've got Paul's elbow.
Either that or he's doing a dance to tragedy.
Come on, let's all emulate.
No.
See, we've tried to gain equilibrium tonight. We've tried to get someone on the show to talk about Stuttgart, but we've kind of fallen blank. So if there's anyone,
we don't know anyone we know apart from Ollie that we like that went there, and Dale. We asked Dale.
If there's anyone in chat,
I'm joking.
If there's anyone in chat that went to Stuttgart that wants to come join us, let us know what you thought about Stuttgart. Then drop us a message, and we'll see what we can do. But this video made me laugh, and I know I put it in our group chat. Let me just share it with you.
Make sure you're presenting. Oh yeah.
Oh, let me full screen this before it goes. Right, go for it.
Are we good? Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's go. What was the first thing you said, Chris?
I'm not repeating it.
No.
What was the first thing you said, Mark?
I agree with you. I thought the same.
Trying to work out exactly what they were trying to say.
It just seemed a bit, yeah.
Overly enthusiastic.
Overly enthusiastic, and something I'd seen in war films years and years ago. just angry. I've got to say that's an impressive cloud, though. That would have shown up on Google Earth.
That is a big crowd. Not just a cloud, a big crowd. To be fair. all to get together and do that at once. That that is quite impressive.
It's a lot more organisation than Expo has normally.
Jimmy, I think my granddad went to Stuttgart in 1945.
Easy.
But no, I've heard. Really.
Who's still listening to it?
Huh?
Are you still listening to it?
No, I've turned it off. Why?
I can still hear chanting in the background.
No, it's not me.
No, definitely gone.
Your shed is haunted.
No, I've heard some incredible things. Apparently, it was a fantastic show. Apparently, there was no bartering. There was no bullshit. There was no. It was just a really nice show, and apparently the numbers were absolutely incredible. Lots and lots of people there. I did hear, however, and I'm just scrolling back through my chats. No chance of,
Oh, here he is. Right from Apple.
Oh, he's back.
I just had to put 50 pence in my meter, mate. my whole router just failed. I've just reset the router.
I went to a house party once, and this bird whose house it was, their brother's Xbox was connected downstairs. So a few of the lads, after a few beers, we'll play FIFA. They had one of these fucking tellies. You had to put £1 in to get the cunt to turn on. What the fuck is that all about? Yeah. And I was like, fucking hell, lads, who's got some fucking change? We'll smash. Like, we're fucking digging around trying to stick 2p's in there. And the fucking thing wasn't happy.
I know there was a lot of concern with Stuttgart regarding who was going to be allowed to sell what and stuff like that. And I know vendors dropped out because of this, because of the possibility of getting your collar felt for selling uncompliant hardware, blah blah blah. But the feedback I've heard from people that went, from people that exhibited, also friends that went, it was a really good meet. What are your thoughts on it, Paul? Is it something that you might do next year?
Not Stuttgart, only because anybody that I know who's big into distro or wholesale that have done it has said to me that Stuttgart is an exceptional expo for atmosphere, for lots of people, but actually for business to business, not so much so. But Berlin is supposed to be exceptional for business to business. So, and that was off 4 or 5 people that have done them, and actually they've seen the results from a few shows at both. So, from a traveling around the world point of view, again, I think the juice has given me a new lease of life in us possibly taking it further afield. Just because it's had such a fantastic response in the UK, I feel that we should try and do now. Obviously, Ace of Vapes are manufacturing it for us. They're also wholesaling it with us.
Talk to us about the juice, Paul.
Pardon?
Talk to us about the juice, Paul, for those that don't know.
So we've just dropped the new juice. I haven't even got a bottle in front of me. That's how shit I am at promoting.
Lost as fuck, mate.
But we've just launched the new juice. We've launched it in a 20ml format in a 30ml short fill. Takes a whole 10ml nick shot. Look at that on tap. So I've got my assistant. I've got Natasha Harrison, my professional assistant, next to me, passing me goods as we speak. So yeah, we decided to go for 20ml short fill in a 30ml bottle, so we can run a PG shot or a VG shot, and we can turn it into 50-50 or 80-20, which is pretty cool. The other thing that it does, it instantly gives a 6 milligram back to the market on short fill, which was lost in a 50 and 100ml short fill. We're launching the 40ml short fill in a 60ml bottle next, which will take 2 nick shots, which again keeps that whole ratio thing going of 50-50, 80-20. You can use 1 VG, 1 PG, and I think it gives you about 65-35. Again, 0, 3, and 6. So we've just launched 12 flavours straight off. We've got another 4 dropping again by the end of May. And the response genuine. And again, it's easy for me to sit here and say, "Oh, it's bombed, lads, man. It's been shit." The response from the liquid has been incredible. And I've never done this before, so I don't know whether it's the normal response or not. From my point of view, and I've done a quick live feed with Adele earlier. She actually invited me onto hers, and obviously, and again, Chris will know this, and Mark will know this, that there's lots of people that I can send my product out that will blow smoke up my arse and say, "Fucking hell, Paul, that's the best liquid I've ever tried in the whole world." And most of them, quite frankly, are just literally doing that. They're just blowing smoke up my arse, because what they don't want to say is, "Paul, that liquid's fucking nasty." The sort of genuine feedback for me was lots and lots of vendors coming up to me at Expo have already took the product saying, "Mate, this stuff is fucking flying out of the shops and we've reordered," and I'm absolutely blown away by it. Honestly, I am. And it's just the response has been crazy. I think we've gone over. We had about 140 shops that want to take the liquid between Expo weekend, none of which have been confirmed yet because we're honouring an exclusive zone. So we have to come back, check the map, make sure that they're not within someone else's radius and stuff like that. And that's the only reason why we've not put it out for distro. We just wanted to go a little bit old school with liquid and give shops something that not every single shop and man and the dog's going to get from the distributor, and make a quid a bottle and fuck the pricing and the structure of the liquid up. So honestly, the response has just been fantastic, crazy. And when Mark Cooper from Ace of Vapes video calls you from Florida on Saturday, just about to do a helicopter ride to say, "Mate, this liquid is going to fucking smash it," he obviously knows his game exceptionally well. He knows how it moves, and he's used to getting feedback on dropping new lines and stuff. I don't know. I'm really, really excited about the liquid, and on that basis, I think we probably will do some further afield expos with the juice and endless as well, and see how it goes. The other thing we just dropped that wire range the weekend, the Build'em range, which I think off the top of my head is 68 variants of wire and pre-made, which is, as far as I'm aware, the biggest range of wire any manufacturer just has got in one stock. And again, from a wholesale point of view, so many shops are coming up to us saying, "Fucking hell, that's what I need, somewhere where I can go and just buy whatever wire I want in one place." And that's the whole reason why I made it. I mean, when we first looked at doing this genuinely, again, it was just to supply our two shops, because I don't even know where to buy some 28 gauge Canthal from now, unless I get it from Crazy Wire, and they're a bunch of wankers who fucking fuck your order up or don't bother sending it to you. Yeah. So I can get fucking nichrome, and I can get stainless, and I can obviously get Daniel's flat wire, and I can probably get a bit of chaos if James is about, but he hasn't been about for a long time. But if a customer said to me, "Paul, can you get me some 32 gauge Canthal?" I'll be like, "I don't even know where the fuck to get that from, mate, because no cunt stocks it anymore." But actually, there's still a calling for that type of shit. You know what I mean? And certainly with squonking coming back in, and people and single coils, and people wanting to get the resistance up for series builds and single series builds and all that sort of malarkey. So in the end, I was like, "Fuck it."
With the mouth to lung seems to be making a bit of a resurgence as well.
Yeah, absolutely, hugely.
28 gauge Canthal. That's exactly what I've got in my mouth to lung setup.
Damn it, you've still not even fucking tried nichrome.
I have got bloody nichrome.
All right, what about stainless steel?
Stainless steel? Yeah.
N90?
What?
N90?
N90? No. I haven't got that one. I've got 304 stainless steel, NI80, 316 stainless steel, Canthal.
I tell you what, you've done really, really well to actually get that. Is it knotted by any chance?
Mate,
Is it knotted?
The last time I had an order off Crazy Wire, I nearly lost both of my eyes opening the envelope, because both fucking spools flew out the envelope at 60 miles an hour, uncoiling, and fucking it was like getting packed.
That happened to me with fucking.
I was gonna say,
18 or 20 gauge. It was something fucking stupid, and the whole spool was undone in the bag.
Yeah.
I've always used Crazy Wire for my wire, and I've never had an issue with them. But I suppose you don't get through that much wire. I've ordered from them about 5 or 6 times, so personal use. I'm obviously not ordering.
Talking of Expo, when's your reunion tour starting, Chandler?
My reunion tour.
Yeah.
Do you mean are you referring to the post that you put in both?
I am, yes.
Both Vape Talk and the Vaguely Vaping group.
I like the way you fucking stole it and used it as your cover photo. You can't.
I've stole it and stuck it at the top because I thought it was amusing.
Elaborate.
You've missed this. Have you got a picture you can share, or do I need to share my phone, Chris?
Yeah, I've got a picture.
Go on then. Share the picture because it's your artwork. You did it, mate.
Oh yeah. Hang on, let me show you screen. Hold it there, Chris. There we go.
I just thought that was the campest power stance I'd ever seen, Chandler. What the fuck is he doing with that finger in his gob?
I don't know what he was doing. I think he was trying to pose, but yeah, we were just basically we went in with Ian Schwab, and obviously he'd got a ticket, but he had to queue for it. Bless him. Didn't feel at all guilty jumping to the front. So we went in and we were just recording a little bit while we were waiting for him to turn up. And he took a picture of us as he walked in.
So you got anything else exciting coming up this year, Paul?
Have I got anything else coming out this year?
Anything else exciting happening?
Anything else exciting?
That sounds like a loaded question, Paul.
I'm not saying no then just to piss him off. Now we've got.
He told me off for showing it earlier.
The what? Sorry.
He told me off for showing it earlier.
I actually never even had a chance. I received one off Chris last week, and genuinely, I'm excited about it, to be honest. But before that happens, we've got a 30mm Empire drop-in, which is the same mechanics as the ME and the Emperor, which we launched at the show this weekend. So we've got that dropping in 30mm, which will take an 18650, it will take a 2650, it will take a 2700, it will take a 21700, and a 26650, which is pretty cool. And then Chris and I will be doing some talking certainly over the next few weeks, working on that new design. There's a few things that Chris done which is shit that needs sorting out by a proper engineer. So I'm looking at that as we speak.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, actually, I'm excited by it, because if that comes off as it should come off, then it's took endless full circle back to where we started with something that gives literally endless options as far as the flexibility that mod's concerned. So
the concept is absolutely incredible, isn't it, Paul?
I know. In fact, the three of us, weren't it? It was me, Mark, and Chris at Dale's meet having a rattle till midnight when I got home and got a bollocking for stopping out passing when we first spoke about that. And even driving back that night, I was thinking, I didn't have a clue how this mod worked, because Chris showed me some ropey fucking CAD drawing which I couldn't make head nor tail of. But actually, just that I've never really spoke to Chris at length before. Normally, whenever I've seen him at a show, he's just abusing someone, and I've always thought, obnoxious cunt. No, not really. But actually, I drove back thinking, you know what? He knows his shit. And then he sent me a picture. He actually sent me a picture of the mod about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I still couldn't make head nor fucking tail of it. And then he sent me a video of him taking it apart, and I still couldn't make head nor tail of it. And then I got it in the post, and I was like, actually, that's pretty fucking clever. I do think there's a few things that need changed on
absolutely,
to make it better. But the flexibility that comes with that mod is like nothing else that's out there. So I am actually genuinely excited about sort of working that through to getting to a point of putting it to market, because I hate to use the term game changer, but certainly it's different to anything else that's out there, and it's clever. And it's my only concern, just as a very, very brash comment, is possible voltage drop if the machine is not right on it.
Did I not send you a picture of that? I tested it. I lost 0.01 of a watt of a volt.
Yeah.
So it was like the battery was running at 4.13 volts, and running it through an atomizer, it was running at 4.12 volts.
Yeah. And to be fair, Chris, when Todd reviewed our first sleeve mod, it had 0.01 of a volt drop as well, which was better than the authentic Nemesis at the time. And yet you still get these same wankers going, yeah, it's fucking shit, mate. It fucking doesn't even hit as hard as a...
do you know what? I was really worried about it until I used it, and it's fucking spot on.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, the whole concept behind that mod for me is very, very clever. It's massively flexible. Chris and I have already had stupidly fucking random chats about things we can make, things we can do, how it can be better, what we can do to make it even more flexible and stuff like that. So certainly one of the things that I will be hoping to, I mean, I'm saying hoping to launch at Expo in October. It sounds like a lifetime away. It's just 5.5 months away. And the reality is, by the time I've stopped blowing out my arse and got over this last week, we've got 5 months to go. For us to get sort of drawings to China, get it manufactured, get it over, get it tested, get it checked, and we're going to be in the same situation whenever year, where a few days before Expo, this product's going to be in. Because I know there's some people out there that think you click your finger and the little Chinese people work through the night with 600 children and they get the mods out within 24 hours. It just don't happen like that. And the reality is, Chris has had some samples made from his existing manufacturer. We're obviously 4.5 years in with our current manufacturer. We've got to decide which way we're going. There's a lot of shit to be sorted out prior to that even.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the thing is as well, I did it with the Pandora, and again, I'm doing it with this. I've made it complex as fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's not straightforward. Like I did that on purpose because people think that there is no innovation that can be had with a tube mod anymore, and that's just not. I felt that it just wasn't the case, and there was definitely something that we could do that would change tube mods. And I think that's what I set out to do, and that's, I think, what we will achieve when it's ready to go.
No, absolutely. And I said this to Tasha the other day. Actually, it's for me again. There's different sizes. I mean, I don't know if anyone's seen the sample.
Yeah, I see that. That's fucking. That is awesome.
50 MA, which is just tight. It's actually about the size of a 10ml bottle of liquid.
Oh, what one of them? Look at that!
Honestly, they look fucking awesome.
It's a one-on-one prototype. I'll send you my PayPal details later. Four numbers, and I'll send it out to you. No, I'm only joking. I mean, literally, I just asked them. We've also got the same body coming for the Emperor as well, so 24mm with the same shapes and stuff like that. I haven't even got a battery in this. I literally got the prototype body. It's got the deck on.
Is that the 18350?
18350, yeah.
I've got 6 18350s I bought for that Pokemon.
We actually sell them in the shop, mate. I even went to the shop today and forgot to pick some up. There you go. That's next to a bottle of Zeus juice.
Yeah, I've got 6 batteries I bought for this fucking this Pokeball mod I got, and I've used it once, and I've just kept it as a memento, and that's it. So I've got fucking four 18350s that have never been even fired.
Yeah, I can't even remember what we had 18350s for in this house.
They're about 4.5 years ago.
Tasha's got a couple of Fortune mods, and they used to make exceptionally small 18350 mods as well.
I think my 18350 batteries have got fire written on the side.
Probably have. I can't remember. We used to. I can't even remember what we were using back then.
Well, I've got E-Fest ones.
Well, I've got the Imran ones in the store, which are re-wraps of something. Claim to be 14 amps, but probably 10. So, but I mean, I think they're 800 mAh, 10 amp. So for me, 0.3-ish, 0.4 maybe. I know I've seen some of these prats in America on them Comp Life minis going, hey, dude, they're totally safe at 0.17. I'm like, you fucking dickhead, they're not.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, actually, I asked them to do me a 350 body and a 500 body. That 350 body is actually, obviously, the thread that the top cap goes into. They also sent it with the extension piece in to make it 500. Now, the only reason why I don't want to do that is because this has got, the only thread on this is the top cap. So I didn't want to add another thread. So then today, Tasha was saying to me, "Are you going to drop that? Are you going to drop the tubes?" And I was like, "I might just do a limited edition run with the 350, the 500, and the 18650 tube all in one set."
Yeah, that's pretty fucking good. Like, I remember when JM Mods did that, and Caravella did it as well. But yeah. They're long since forgotten, and I think there's a lot of fans of 18500, 18350 out there that just don't get use of them anymore.
It just looks cool as fuck. That small, it's mad. tiny little thing. But yeah, it's cool. You can hide it completely in my hands. I mean, it's even small for an 18350. To be fair, because the Emmy is actually small for an 18650. There's a lot of people when I launched the Emmy were saying, "Is that an 18500?" And it was more for shits and giggles actually. They're also making the stacked extension for the Emperor, which obviously is the same threading as the top cap ones, just to stack up the Emperor and see what it's like in stack mode, because that's just a normal 24mm neck. So I mean, we've got lots going on again. I think last year, in a roundabout way, we had a bit of a wasted year. Really, we dropped the dirties in April last year. That was the last new product. We dropped the Empress, and we dropped the dirty in the first quarter of last year, and then we dropped nothing until the ME, which dropped whatever it was 8 weeks ago, 9 weeks ago, something like that. So. But then we've been working on the liquid for the last 7 months. We've been working directly with that wire company for 9 months to get this fucking project right with the wire and make sure the wire's right and the build quality of the spools are right and all of that sort of stuff. So there's still a lot been going on.
Just all behind the scenes.
Yeah, but for 2 years prior to that, Chris, we were dropping shit left, right, and centre, and it was like we were on a bit of a wave, and new stuff was coming out. And obviously, every time you get a new product back, once you pick the bones out of it, you're sort of looking at things and going, actually, I should have done this and I should have done that, and it should have a this on there and a that on there. And we were reworking stuff and relaunching stuff. Last year was sort of, we were busy as fuck all year, actually, and yet not much seemed to happen. And then we've got all this new stuff that's dropped in a relatively short space of time. It's really given me some sort of fire back in my belly to get going on with things again and pushing things forward and doing and we'll just see where it goes. At some points during the arse end of last year, I really felt like I'd lost my mojo actually, and I was a bit like doing it just for the sake of doing it because we need to, because it's a business, and I can't just decide tomorrow that we're not doing it anymore. But actually, as I feel at this minute in time, and I think for the last months, is that there's still a lot to be had out of an industry that is so uncertain, and there still is a lot of uncertainty in how big tobacco will come in and how they'll fuck us smaller people, and they won't stop at nothing until they've got control of what they want control of. It's as simple as that. That said, until that completely happens, there's still a lot to be had out of this industry by all of us guys that are sat here talking tonight, whether that be consumer, whether that be retailer, whether it be manufacturing, whether it be liquid manufacturing, whatever we're doing. There's still some good stuff, I think, and it'd just be nice for me personally if actually the vendor side of the community was a little bit more in sync with each other and pushing in the same direction and fighting the same arguments from the same corner, and not just worrying about where the next sale's coming from and fucking people along the way just to make as much money as they can in a shorter period as possible.
Yeah, I've said that for a long time, Paul. You know, some of us that have been in it for a long time, you know, Paul and I have always got time for each other. We've never crossed each other. We'll always stop, chat, have a hug, and catch up. Dale's the same. There's so many of us, but now there's so many. Excuse me for saying this, but arseholes in the industry that are in it for a quick buck, and you've just got to take a trip to Manchester and some of the Birmingham wholesalers to see that.
To Expo to see.
Yeah,
being honest, you go around Expo, and I bumped into the likes of Grey Eyes, with just across from us, old school Taz, who I've dealt with right back from when we first started, and they launched. We were actually trading online before Grey Eyes, but they opened their shop before us, about 4 months before us, I think. We've always worked very closely with Taz. We've always worked very closely with James at Evolution. We've always worked. We used to buy off Vapers, which was a company in Birmingham. All them old school people. Like I walk around the Expo, and only once did me and Tasha go on a full lap of Expo. Apart from that, I went for a piss. I went to get coffee, and I seen her on the way to doing that, and I was back to my own stand. Me and Tash went for a walk around there. And it's mad how many people have come into this industry in the last 4 Expos, which is the last 18 months, really, that must have went to an Expo as a skeptical man with lots of money and walked around it and says, fucking hell, we can have a slice of this cake. And it's them wankers that have come into this already, probably in most cases with deep pockets, that have got the ability to go to these manufacturers. They've got the ability to go to liquid manufacturers, buy huge volume at really shit margin for the manufacturer. And then they're in a position where they start dominating and actually dictating how that industry's moving. Now, one of the reasons why I'm absolutely adamant that we won't put AF juice out for distro is because I've watched all distribution fuck lots and lots of products over the last 18 months. And they buy in big numbers because they want to be able to pull people's strings. And the second it's not selling at a rate of knots, they slash the price, they move it on, and they're on to the next thing. Now, all that does is completely devalue some fucker's hard work somewhere. And when you're a big name in the distribution game and you choose to drop a product just because you've bought too much of it and you had to buy a lot of it just so you could have exclusive on it or just so you could mug someone off, it ruins the brand. I don't care what anyone, and it does ruin the brand. And there's people saying, well, if such and such has dropped it, it can't be that much good. Actually, they're just cunts, in my opinion. That's my opinion of it, and that's why I'm not asked about getting endless out for distribution in the UK. And me and Chris had a conversation about this, about doing the project with him, and that design is that I would rather get to a point where we can reduce our retail price to something that is exceptionally good by comparison of anything else that's out there, and have a big enough reach to make a living. I never come into this to be a multi-millionaire. Do
you often look at the industry, Paul, and see something happen? You think, well, that's the end of that brand in the UK now?
Absolutely. I see it all the time. I see it all the time, Mark. And the other thing is that the people that are doing this are the very people that are saying, oh, fuck it, they're the ones that are like beating this drum about community and about fucking holding prices, and they're single-handedly fucking the industry, trying to make as much money as they can. Now, I know for a fact, Mark, me and you have had many a long conversation about this very thing, and I've said it publicly to people. I've said it on live feeds, whether that be on endless banter, whether it just be me in my car driving to work, having a fucking rant and a rave one morning. I never come into this to make money. I came into it because I was absolutely passionate about getting people off cigarettes. And if we have to genuinely, if we were in, and I said it to Chris actually when I was talking to Chris only the other Sunday morning when he phoned me, if I have to pull the shutters down on both of our shops tomorrow, I could do it with my head held high and a massive smile on my face, because single-handedly, me and Tasha have achieved something that a lot of people won't achieve in their lifetimes, purely by accident, falling upon vaping. But the minute that we fell upon it, Mark, I've put the last 6 years of my life into what I'm doing. Yeah. It's the longest in my whole life that I've ever been committed to one single project, because I'm a scatty fucker who has a million ideas a day running through the head, and I fire off on that angle, and then I fire off on that angle, and I fire off over there. I have been absolutely committed to what we've done with this business because it still makes me tick, and I still enjoy what I do, and I'm still passionate about what I do, and I'm still passionate about vaping. I hate 90% of the cunts that I'm in competition with, not because I don't like the way that they're better than me, or they're bigger than me, or they've got a more expensive car than me, because none of that means nothing to me whatsoever. Before I was vaping, I had an expensive car and I lived in a nice house, and now I'm been vending for 6 years. I'm in the same house and I've got a more expensive car. Apart from that, my life hasn't changed. There's lots of people out there whose life is completely flip side different to what it was 4 years ago, and the same arseholes will be stood about scratching the tops of their head when this industry implodes. And I know that I won't. Like I says, I can stand with my head held high, big smile on my face, give my missus a big hug and a kiss, and say, as if we achieve that in 6 years, because I think what we've achieved as two people. I work full time. She's managing the shop. She's managing the kids. She's running the house. That's us. I haven't got a big fucking team of people around me. I don't employ 65 people. I haven't got a design company. It's me. It's me doing everything that we do. And on that basis, we've done it fantastically well.
We're exactly the same, Paul.
And I know we are, Mark. I know me and you've had that exact conversation. And what I see is people that they've built themselves up to a level where they're having to fuck people over on the daily just to maintain a business that isn't as sustainable as it was 2 years ago.
Benny from Scoundrel. Sorry.
Got a bad cough there, Chris.
Not even Benny from Scoundrel, Chris. I mean, at the end of the day, I watch Benny. I've got no axe to go on with Benny Reeler. I think the stroke that they pulled on Mark was cuntish, and I told them so, and it's done and dusted. I'm talking about people that are buying in big numbers off smaller companies and absolutely screwing them to the ground so they can make as much money as possible. That's cool. That's business. That's how it works. I'm not stupid. I know how it works. But then to just decide that they must get up one morning and go, you know what? We've got lots and lots of that in the warehouse. Fuck it off. Less than cost. You've just destroyed some cunt's livelihood.
I've got a prime example here, and I'm not going to go into detail now. There's a small distributor in the UK that distributes a particular juice. No, fuck it. Barista Brew. Fantastic juice. Is not the cheapest juice, but it's a good juice. Chris, you've tried it. You love it, yeah?
Yeah, it's nice.
Chandler, you've tried it?
Barista?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul, you've stocked it?
No, too expensive.
But have you tried it?
Yep.
It's a good juice?
Yep.
Distribution's just changed hands. You mark my words, that is a brand that's going to be fucked.
Do you think?
And that's all I'm going to say.
Mark, I don't even know who's taking distribution of it, right? But
you can guess, Paul.
distribution now has become massive business in the UK, and the reason why I think it's become such big business in the UK is because generally, regardless of how busy we are, Mark, and I know that you're busy daily, I'm busy daily, Chris is just a lazy cunt who sits in that shed thinking about how to make the next big thing. But I mean, generally, we're all busy. But the other thing is as well, we're probably misguided in the way that we manage our time because we're British. And actually, generally, we're a lazy nation of people. And which means that I can remember speaking to one of the big distributors now in the UK 4.5 years ago saying distribution in this country will make someone a huge amount of money because most of the people that have got into this industry in particular could not write their name in the sand with a stick because they're thick as dinosaur shit. They don't know how to source the product. They don't know how to do business. They don't know how to negotiate the prices. They don't know how to set a fucking retail price because they don't understand margins. They don't understand overheads. They don't understand direct costs. They haven't got a fucking clue. So if you've got a retail site that's retailing a product and you can also buy off that website at a wholesale price, they can see what you're selling it for and they can sell it for the same because that's how stupid they are, because without that bit of knowledge, they won't be able to fucking get up in the morning and run their business. Also, it means they can do one-stop shopping and it makes it easy for them. And they can, providing they've got £20,000, they'll be able to relatively stock up a shop as good as the next man and become a vape vendor, and then they can drive around in a fucking hire car and pretend that they're multimillionaires and all the other bullshit that goes with it. It's big business in the UK now for distro. However, I also think that there's manufacturers out there that have fucked themselves using distro. I think the distros have fucked themselves by being stupid and greedy. And the people that will last the longest are the people that had massively deep pockets before ever they got into the industry. Because to some of them boys, and some of these boys are turning over multi-millions of pounds a week, mate. I mean, we're talking big money. It's still a gain to them because their family's worth X £100 million. It doesn't matter if this goes tits up. It doesn't matter if the vaping only makes them fucking 50 grand a week on a £1 million turnover. It's another 50 grand to go into the family pot and everyone's fucking happy. There's other people out there that are manufacturing. They're distroing the life out of stuff. They've then started retailing their own product at below distro pricing to bring out a cheap budget range. It boils more piss because there's manufacturers out there now that are also distro, that are also dropping very affordable vaping lines for the man in the street. I don't even buy none of the liquids anymore. Because when you're trying to wholesale me a 60ml bottle for, say, £7 with the retailer £15, which is probably there or thereabouts the norm for that type of liquid, when you've just dropped a retail line at £8.99 retail, how the fuck am I supposed to put that in my shop and tell them that your £15 liquid is any better? Because it's not. I don't give a fuck what you say about that they're not complex this and they're not complex that and they're basic concentrates. The bottom line is you're using the same shit. You're just clutching at straws and you're trying to go straight to the retail market. Because if they're retailing at £8.99 themselves, it's still a better margin than wholesaling me a bottle at £7. I can't deal with people like that because all it does is fuck up every other brand that's in my store.
Yep.
On that basis, I'm out. Go and sell your product somewhere else. I don't want fuck all to do with you.
We had this conversation the other week, didn't we? When I was saying about the £2 wholesale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. It doesn't work. It does. It's exactly like me now. I'm manufacturing endless mods. So when I retail that product, that's the best margin product in our shop. Just because it is. And the liquid that we've got in now is also when we're manufacturing at the level that I mean, even though we're manufacturing through Ace of Vapes, we went in pretty balls deep. Fucking 14,000 bottles of liquid deep. It's a lot of liquid. On the strength of me having faith in the fact that we can move this product, that we've bought out a good line, and I'll stand by that, and I'll stand by anything that we sell because I don't sell shit. We've got a good margin on that liquid. I can't message you, Mark, and say, mate, do you want to buy some endless mods wholesale? And you go, yep, how much, mate? And you've got a 45, 50% margin, whatever it is. And then next week, just go, actually, I'm gonna retail my own endless mods at fucking half price because it's only the same as the wholesale price anyway. Fuck it. Because all it does is piss you off. And you go, well, fuck you, mate. I ain't buying nothing off you again. But some morons can't even see past that. They've put it out for distro. They've put 40,000 bottles out for distro. And then they start retailing it cheaper than what it should be retailed at because it's still better than the wholesale margin or the distro margin. Because they ain't got the brains they were born with. They're just trying to keep stacking money on top of money. But the trouble is, mate, if you're clearing £50,000 a week clean profit after you've paid your taxes, if you're spending 50 grand a week living the life and trying to make out you some Johnny Big Bollocks, you're in no better position. The bloke who earns 300 quid and only spends 250 because he's got 50 quid a week left in his pocket. You got fuck all. All you've got is more material shit around you that's not worth fuck all when the industry implodes. I've gone on one of my rants. I don't even know where this rant come from and what we were discussing. But
a final point to touch on that though is the fact that there's also people that not the people that are wholesaling it or distro it and then dropping their own prices, but actually the distributors who drop the prices and the people that make it have a force to bring their what they can make of a profit lower and lower and lower until they're not making any money anymore. And that happens a lot.
And that you know what, Chris, that is my whole issue with distribution, is that I know I am 95% confident, right, that with the right branding, and I can pay anyone to do some branding for me, but with the right branding, I am confident that I could bottle 40,000 bottles of liquid next weekend, and by the weekend after, pretty much we could have cleared them through Manchester and Birmingham distro. And if I only made 50 pence a bottle on that liquid, I'd have cleared 20 grand in a weekend. It's not bad business. However, it's sort of like one-hit wonders. You can't drop them lines at them volumes at distribution, expect to sell 20,000 bottles a week because it gets flooded into retail. The retailer goes, well, actually, I bought it cheaper, so I'm going to sell it cheaper, and then people won't pay the price because they've seen it on the internet and it's only 9 quid a bottle, and you want 13 quid a bottle, and you're robbing people. The distros don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. All they want to do is they want to screw you on the best price they can to get it into the shop. And if they buy 20,000 bottles at distro price and they make 50 pence a bottle, they've made 10 grand in a weekend. They're fucking happy.
On one line.
That's my point. So then they've made £10,000 off one line in a weekend by clearing out 20,000 bottles with a 50 pence profit on it. It's not a lot of money, but it is when you shift 20,000 bottles in a weekend. Then you've got X amount of retailers with these 20,000 bottles going, well, the retail on this is 15 quid, but I've only paid fucking £4.20 for it. Fuck it, I'm going to sell it for 9 quid. I'm back to me 50-ish% margin on the business. Everyone's happy. But you've got another bloke who's bought it off me maybe at the proper wholesale price, saying, Paul, I've paid you £7 for this. There's a cunt down the road selling it for £8.50. How am I supposed to make any money?
Yeah.
And then because it stopped selling, the distro's going, oh, fucking hell, I've bought this next batch off him and I'm going to have to sell this even cheaper, sell it for £3. I've had WhatsApp messages off Manchester, mate, for 100 mil short fills with 2 nick shots. I can buy them for £2.20. I wouldn't even put that in my shop.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in my shop because what do I sell it for? If I sell it at 20 quid to be comparable with every other 100 mil, I'm taking the absolute piece and it's probably not even worth £10 anyway. And if I sell it at £10, it completely devalues the proper ones that I'm selling at 20 quid.
Yep, exactly.
And I know
there's rock in a hard place.
GSPR or whatever it is for the goods, the food thing. We've just paid to have all 12 flavours tested. I know 100% that if something happens with short fill, as quickly as we can notify, we can have 10 ml bottles TPD'd in the flavours. That was one of my stipulations to market Ace of Vapes, is that I don't want nothing in the range that's exceptional, that will be that flavour that everyone loves. And the minute we've got to go TPD, we have to drop it because we're using dodgy concentrate. So let's be right from the start. Make sure we've got the right thing. I've paid for the certification to make sure it's sampled. So if Mark wanted to stock it, it will come with a cert. Trading standards come in your shop, mate. They're not taking my stock off you, to the point where I will say, if they do take it, we'll replace it free of charge because I know it's right.
Yeah.
And then we'll take it with trading standard. Everyone, there's other. I think, and I'm classing myself as a manufacturer with liquid on the basis that we're having this manufactured for us. But every single person that manufactures e-liquid at a respectable level should be doing the same thing, and they should be pushing retailers to say you should have these cost. In essence, they're cost sheets,
yeah,
to say that they're safe. We should be pushing all of our vendors to say you should insist on that certification.
And much like you, Paul, we did exactly the same with our Jeffrey's range. Before we released them in short fill, they were ready, tox tested, emissions tested for the TPD.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why people don't do. I do understand why people don't do it.
Yeah. Money, simple as that. We're actually, how many distros will get caught by the bollocks, mate? If as of tomorrow morning, every vendor who went to these Manchester and Birmingham distros and said, "Yeah, I'll take $500 for that, mate. Have you got the GSPR certs for it?" No, sorry, I can't put it in my shop then. They'd soon fucking start deciding what they were buying, who they were buying, where they were buying it from, and what it was going to cost to buy it in, and what they're going to cost to put it out.
And I guarantee that's what a lot of people are going to do. Smaller retailers that hear on the news that it needs to be GSPR tested or whatever it is, they're going to fucking ask for it. The same way when TPD come in, they were asking for TPD compliance codes and all this shit. And it's like, well, they're just covering their own asses. And the second that the news get wind of it and it's announced on Radio 1, that's what everyone's going to be asking for.
And you know what, Chris, the same applies. And I think when I've done Vape Talk with Mark this time last year, or just before TPD, my biggest concern about TPD was never trading standards marching into our shop and saying, right, let me have a look at your stock. It was the wanker down the road who's seen how busy we was, phoning trading standards saying Shady Vaping's got a load of shit in its shop. From the 19th of March last year, we've never had nothing non-TPD in our shop. I was selling product. I'd done live feeds for 4 weeks leading up to TPD. We were selling,
some madness.
We were selling shit for pennies. Literally, it cost me money. And I just
you donated a lot of it, didn't you?
Pardon?
You donated a lot of it, didn't you?
On the 19th of March, we done one live feed, and I've done an auction for it, and I think we raised about 650 quid or something like that, or it might have even been £1,000. Every single non-compliant stock in our shop went in that parcel, and all that money went to charity. Because on the 20th, it was going in the fucking bin, or someone was going to give me 200 quid for it to go to a car boot sale or whatever they were going to do. Now, some of that stock cost us thousands of pounds. I worked on the basis that over the previous 4.5 years, we'd made a lot of money. It's just one of them things. We take a hit on that, but we've actually made good money for the last 4.5 years. My shop, from that point, from midnight on the 19th straight the 20th of May, we were absolutely clean. So when our competitors who are jealous choose to burn trading standards, come down and have a coffee, mate. You can see exactly what we've got. We didn't even stock a short fill until late July because I was adamant that I was going to support all of my friends, V-Juice, TYV, Ace of Vapes, Zeus Juice, all of them companies that I knew between them had spent over £1 million to comply their liquids. I was going to support them, and we didn't stock a single short fill in the shop. I had fucking 3-pack Dinner Ladies. I had 3-pack V-Juice. I had fucking Ace of Vapes 3-pack, 6-packs, or whatever their packs were. I had Dale's liquid, everything. And actually, after 2 months, I'm stood there scratching my head saying, short fill's the way this market's going to go. And I had to change to compete. I had to. We ended up selling Dinner Lady fucking 3-packs for £4. It was cheaper than our fucking 50/50 demos, just to get rid of that shit in the shop. Crazy times. And single-handedly, short fill liquid has fucked this industry and put us in the position we're in today. Which, from a consumer's point of view, and anyone who's watching the consumers going, oh yeah, that's good for us. But actually, from a retail point of view, our margins are down, our turnover's down, the whole vibe in the shop is completely different, and that's all well and good. Touch wood, we're in a position to ride whatever wave we need to ride. In the last 12 months, how many vape shops have shut down? Probably more than what's opened.
Yeah. Well, it's like you bought Midlands Vaping, didn't you?
Yeah, that shop is shutting down, and we bought the lease off him and actually opened it as a Shady Vaping. But yeah, someone who's been trading in the high end game for 5 years.
Yeah, they were early on, weren't they?
Yeah, mate, they were massive, and actually, I mean, there's probably more to it than just the high end game, I think. And certainly we've gone in there, and although it's nowhere near as busy as our Yardley shop, it still wipes its face and makes us. It doesn't make a huge amount of money, but it's making us some money. It's employing 2 people full time, and on that basis, it can stay there doing what it's got to do. The rent's relatively cheap on it. I haven't got to stress about whether we can or we can't afford to pay the bills over there every month. On that basis, it will stay there. But the same people that are supporting these arseholes on Facebook are selling 150 mil of like that. I mean, when I first joined the live feed earlier, you guys were talking about this arsehole online who's selling clone liquids that he's blatantly making up in 3, 6, 18 mil or whatever way he wants to sell them. And he's got this little proviso on his website that says box if you want us to mix it, but actually you can't click it if you don't want him to mix it. That's all well and good from a consumer point of view. But trust me, as these vendors start falling off the edge of the cliff, and the people that are making it can't get hold of the nicotine anymore, and they can't do the homebrew the way that they're doing it, and you guys are forced down a route of buying off what will predominantly be big tobacco companies, you'll be getting fingered worse than you are for a packet of fags. And if that don't happen in 4 years, I'll do a live feed bollock naked, because I know that they will take control and they will start fucking people. And actually,
it's like up here in Scotland, we've got 2 new things. Is there sugar tax for the whole of the UK?
Yeah, definitely.
We've got the sugar tax, which has just come in, and that's seen a lot of companies fold or have to dramatically change their recipes. But also up here, we've got a. I completely fucking forgot what I was talking about.
While you're thinking, have you noticed Monster? I've noticed Monster already. You can buy a 4-pack of the sugar-free for £3.50. Whereas the green Monster with the sugar in is about £1 more, £4.50.
You see,
noticed that in Sainsbury's.
In store, we've got the new, the sugared version's £1.35.
Sorry, I remember what I was talking about now. Alcohol tax. Have you seen this? They've got a minimum cost per unit that you have to pay for alcohol in Scotland now. So a can of Frosty Jacks, which was a £2 3-litre bottle, a 500ml can is now £1.95.
And how much was it?
Well, for 6 times as much, it was £2.
Bloody hell.
So
yeah, I know
you're talking the same amount of cider that would cost you £4 now cost you £11.90.
It'd be interesting to see how the plastic tax affects the industry, because obviously we've got that's imminent.
What? Sorry,
the plastic tax.
They're really trying to target single-use plastics and look, single-use plastics in vaping.
I saw some mad Romanian company that were fucking taking recyclable plastics and turning them into benches for public.
Mm.
They look pretty cool.
But obviously the plastic tax isn't just aimed at the vaping industry, but
no,
it's going to hit us hard.
Because you use more plastic in order to produce the same product.
The TPD has forced a hell of a lot of single-use plastics into the vaping industry.
But yeah, this alcohol tax, if once Big Tobacco get their hands on it and they've washed out all the competitors and there's not a fucking there's not a massive amount of competition for them, they'll slowly start driving their prices up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're going to say cost of living rise, inflation rise, fucking
I'll be
cost
honest,
of manufacturing.
Well, tobacco would be quite happy to have nicotine taxed because they're used to it with the cigarettes.
Yeah, they can afford to pay it.
They know exactly what they can do with the.
But I mean, whether it's Big Tobacco or Big Daddy Warbucks, if you've got enough money to whack £1 million into advertising your brand,
if you can start sponsoring F1 with it,
it's inconsequential whether you have to pay £1,000 to have a batch of nicotine tested, where it is to small Joe Bloggs who owns a shop who's spent 3 years building it up and decides that actually he wants to be compliant, he wants to pay the money, he wants to do it the right way. It costs him the same amount that it costs a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you're fighting you're trying to take a piss in a hurricane. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to get there, and it's the same with everything. I think,
which is why I'd sell out tomorrow in a heartbeat. And if people come in to sell out, I don't give a fuck.
That's what I asked you.
Go me from my Caribbean fucking hideout and tell me I'm an arsehole. I don't really give a shit. But on the other hand, if I was Big Tobacco, I would make it my prime job to be in control of this industry within the next 2 years. And in the following year, I'd shut the fucking thing and get everyone back on the fags.
I mean, the thing is, for Big Tobacco as well.
I'd do personally, but I'm saying if I was Big Tobacco, it's not in their interest for us to be vaping. And
no, that's it.
Well, it depends. You see, if they get into where they can get the profit off,
they have done, haven't
the vaping. Yeah, they're already
at a point now where it's now beat. If you can't beat them, join them. And that's what they've done. But instead of
it's still not worth anything like the same amount of revenue.
Oh no, absolutely not.
So on that basis, unless they put 10 ml of liquid up to $14.99, which is probably comparable to less than 30. I mean, a packet of fags I seen in the service station the other day, 13 quid for a packet of 20 cigarettes. So
yeah, but you know how much they can manufacture them for, don't you?
Yeah, absolute pennies. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think a packet of fags is effectively about £2. So when you buy a packet of cigarettes, you're paying £2 for the packet of cigarettes, and the rest of it is pure tax.
Yeah.
And see, this is the same thing.
And if you're comparing that to 10 mil liquid, if you're looking at a 10 mil liquid in a garage,
yeah,
they're 5 or 6 quid.
The tobacco industries are hurting. Look at PMI. Look at their share price.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, it's like they're making their way into the industry. Old Granny Eileen, when she's going down the shop for a loaf, she's going to go into the shop and say, "Oh, I need to go out smoking. My pension doesn't cover 15 quid a pack. What do you have?" And they say, "Well, we've got these Vape e-pens or blue e-pens. We've got this something else by Philip Morris. We've got this by fucking BAT. Take your pick." and then they'll start vaping, and they'll continue to buy the same fucking blue e-cigarette refill cartridges from the same fucking Tesco's till the day they die. And the fact of the matter is that they can afford, they have those contracts in place with Tesco's, with Asda, with Sainsbury's to have big cigarette counters full of cigarettes. So when you see a company like Dinner Ladies getting into shops, if they haven't been bought by Big Tobacco, then you should be praising them, thanking them, because they're showing little old Ethel that there are other options out there. If she's used to buying Dinner Ladies
for about 4 years, I mean, we're just coming into our 6th year now. Our shop opened 5 years ago in about a week or so, 20th, I think, maybe. So another couple of weeks. We're just coming into our 6th year of doing this. And for the last 5 years and about 10 months, I've been saying, in fact, probably for the last 5 years, really, just prior to TPD, I kept saying, why the fuck aren't Big Tobacco jumping into these feet first? And only
they spent all their time fighting it to start with.
About 2 months ago, Tom and I was doing our endless banter, which for anyone who's watching is on a Wednesday night, 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock, cheeky plug. And actually, I was talking to Tom about the whole Big Tobacco coming in, and it literally dawned on me at that point, and I might be completely wrong, but during conversation, I was sort of thinking out loud and talking while I was thinking, which is normally not a good fucking recipe, to be honest, because I can really talk some bad shit. But I says, you know what, maybe, just maybe, that they knew exactly what the industry was. They knew exactly where it was going, but they didn't have the fucking time nor the whereabouts to even launch this industry. They've relied on me, the Paul Harrisons, the Mark Dolans, the James Burrs, the Taz Deans of this world to set up little tiny independent companies and drag Doris in off the street and take her fags off her and give her an ego pen. And 5 years later, where it's gathering some real momentum, I just get the feeling that they've sat around the board table at fucking Philip Morris's office and at BAT and saying, you know what, lads, now, all them little dickheads have spent 5 years converting. They've spent 5 years going through the pain of trying to tell people this is safer than cigarettes. They've got the right reports behind them now to say it's 95% safer than cigarettes. We've had to not strike a single blow to do any of this. Now's the time for us to start marching forward and start stomping this industry.
And I think they've sat back and they've gone, you watch this industry implode. You watch, they're going to kill themselves. They're going to end up killing themselves as an industry.
I don't agree. I think
I used to
they sat there.
I used to think that they always thought it'll never gather no momentum. But then I do think that they actually thought, you know what, we ain't got time to convert these people. We'll let the little independents do the job for us, and then once it's got to a certain level, that's the time when we'll announce that we're no longer making tobacco products. We're in balls deep. We're going to go and join them and march along with them. They're just going to kick us all to the fucking curb, is what they'll do.
What I think they did, right? I think they set Blue's been around for a long time. I reckon they sent out the little feelers in to wait until there was enough interest in it for them to strike. But I also firmly believe that for the first few years, they had no. Oh, fuck it! Ignore me. Carry on. Right, I knew I had to say what I was going to say when I was going to say it because it's gone now.
We're going to have to come to an end.
I have 2 minutes to try and remember this.
I noticed on last week's show, they actually cut the beginning of the show off on YouTube because we went over the 2 hour mark, and we're kind of encroaching on that 2 hour mark now. So we're gonna drop that for this week. Thank you very much, Paul, for joining us. Always a pleasure, mate.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and that's this for this week. Join us next week. I'm sure we'll have something equally as irritating, equally as I don't know. I'm so sure we'll have plenty of shit to talk about next week. What's going on? Everything's gone wrong. And on that note, we will catch you all next week. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week.